Hello everybody, this is Anthony John Agnello of GamesRadar Plus. The zombie tide is, after a decade-long rise, slowly starting to fall again. Look at upcoming game, movie, and TV release lists, and there aren't nearly as many on the horizon as there have been. Even zombie strongholds like Resident Evil are turning to different monsters in new sequels. And that means it's a perfect opportunity to look back on the many zombie games already out in the wild, and determine which are well worth your limited gaming time. Dead Rising 4. The sheer number of zombies on screen in the original Dead Rising blew our minds back in 2006. But even now, after tech has improved and expansive crowds are no longer such a big deal, Dead Rising 4 still impresses. Photojournalist Frank West returns, and he's been liberated from the original's 72-hour timer, so he's free to smash zombies into shards using crazy weapons, amongst them a nitrogen-laced machete. The dizzying array of weapons available makes wading through the never-ending horde delightful, even though it is sad that the weirdo bosses of past games are nowhere to be found. Zombies Ate My Neighbors. LucasArts' legendary top-down shooter focuses on movie monsters in general, and giant killer babies, but the shambling titular undead still play a huge part in the gloriously campy chaos that is Zombies Ate My Neighbors. They're classic, clothes tattered, arms outstretched, a vacant, goofy half-smile on their decomposing faces. When your severely limited ammo starts running low and you see these rotting freaks start chomping on your community, they actually become as terrifying as they are amusing. These zombies also have an unusual weakness. Rather than headshots and decapitations, they're vulnerable to plain old water. Maybe it's the fact that the game came out in 1993 and Super Soakers were still crazy popular. Who knows? But squirt guns are the front line of zombie defense here, and we love it. Dying Light, The Following. Truth. Running over zombies is fun. You know this. We know this. The following expansion cuts out most of the parkour from the original Dying Light, and instead puts you behind the steering wheel in a vehicle on an almost spotless countryside. You then splatter that countryside with zombies, pummeling them into chunks of gore as you speed across the fields and leave tire tracks in their guts. There have been zombie driving games before, but cult classics like Simple 2000, Ambulances vs. Zombies, can't match the fidelity and feel of the following's absurd off-roading. Red Dead Redemption: Undead Nightmare. Plugging fantasy elements into the Old West is always at least mildly entertaining, but who knew pitting undead cannibals against John Marston would be this great? The Red Dead Redemption DLC expansion Undead Nightmare has everything that made the game proper excellent, only now almost everything you encounter is a walking bag of rotting flesh. Literally everything, even the animals, are zombies now. Undead Nightmare is just about big enough to be considered its own full game. A full game with zombie horse taming. This was Red Dead Redemption 2 before there was an actual Red Dead Redemption 2. Left 4 Dead 2. Everyone has a zombie game plan. Not a zombie video game plan, a bona fide, there are zombies outside right damn now, here's how I'm gonna handle it, zombie game plan. The Left 4 Dead series is the ultimate testbed for any plan you concocted with 3 friends. If you like to go out on your own and try to be Rambo, you are as good as dead. As in real life, there's safety in numbers. Left 4 Dead zombies are also taxing because they're fast, sprinting towards you at full speed, which is absolutely horrifying, but good for testing snap reactions in a group. The special super infected, like the original game's Hunter, Boomer, and Smoker, and the sequels Charger, Jockey, and Spitter, help out your planning and crisis management skills. Whether one just popped out of nowhere or you're staring one down in the distance, you've got to communicate. If you're looking for a zombie title that lets you cooperate with or decimate your friends, Left 4 Dead 2 is unbeatable. Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 may kit you out with a small armory of destructive force, but it also pushes you down with oppressive, claustrophobic encounters with the Ganados. While not viral zombies that can change you with a bite, they are mindless automatons similar to classic folklore zombies, and they provide plenty of straight-up shit-your-pants moments. Resident Evil 4 has it all. Mutant monsters, big undead slaying guns, terrifying scares, and mysterious strangers selling you colored herbs out of their coat pockets. And the threat of zombification here is deeply disturbing. How do they get you since bites are off the table? The ganados spread by infecting you with Las Plagas, a wormy parasite. So not only are you a murderous automaton, you're a murderous automaton whose head will eventually turn into a giant scythe centipede thing. Great. The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead rules the landscape of zombie comics and television, but Telltale's The Walking Dead adventure games are distinguished from their multimedia siblings. They're artful, human, and terrifying. These are games that remember how to make an encounter with a single zombie truly scary. There's ultimately very little head chopping, a minimum of shotgun blasting. This point-and-click adventure focuses instead on tough decision-making. Over 3 seasons and 2 spin-offs, we bounce between characters like escaped convict Lee, his adopted by way of apocalypse daughter Clementine, the indomitable Javi Garcia, and the super popular sword-wielding Michonne. All of these characters are forced to choose under dire circumstances. Choose what? Who eats? Who doesn't? Who is told the truth? Who is left behind? Everything. Playing Telltale's The Walking Dead can be emotionally exhausting, but it's never less than riveting. The Last of Us. The Last of Us was a dicey proposition when it was first revealed. On the one hand, it's from Naughty Dog, a studio that's proven itself to be more than capable of producing premium-grade adventures with great characters and set pieces. On the other hand, zombie fatigue was already setting in on people back when the game came out in 2013. So the zombies are weird mushrooms this time? Big whoop. Then the game came out and washed away the doubts with what is one of the best zombie stories in any medium, period. Its fraught cross-country journey through the infected United States, overrun by plant life, is harsh and tense. The dilapidated, creepy, lost towns and cities set the perfect tone for the stealth survival gameplay that cranks suspense up to unbearable levels. All of that, though, is just texture for its story about coping with loss and moving on with life even in seemingly hopeless circumstances. The Last of Us picks up not immediately after the zombie plague, but decades. Life will always limp along, and the story of its hero Ellie continues on even now. If you like this feature and want more just like it, follow GamesRadar at youtube.com/GamesRadar.